Becoming a transcendent god of Kung Fu isn't easy, especially in a world where everyone does Kung Fu. It's not just a cool fantasy, it's no more special than breathing. Your mom, your dad, birds, hell, even your dog is doing Kung Fu. We're playing a game called the Matchless Kungfu, and the goal today is to become a champion. You need to win a grand Kung Fu tournament, simple in concept, but soul-crushing in execution. Because it's never as simple as taking a few unlabeled meds and becoming the Hulk for a few hours, you have to instead train and practice, and most importantly, continue your bloodline to get stronger. So, can I craft the perfect bloodline using ancient mating rituals and powerful Kung Fu, or will I get kicked in the nuts too much and lose my ability to reproduce? There's only one way to find out. So, let's begin. We start as an orphan by the name of Shin, and to say the least, we look questionable. After the tutorial, I head to my first quest. A man exclaims that monkeys are being annoying, so he told me to beat up 3 of them and learn their techniques. So, with a quest to attack monkeys and learn their arts, I began to head over, but not before fighting a chicken that also knows Kung Fu. I aligned my inner chi, and it was time for the monkey culling. In every adventure game, we wonder if there's fall damage, and in this game, there was no difference. Yes, there's fall damage, but we weren't dead, so natural selection didn't get me this time. I equipped the sword from the chest, and then I was told the only way to learn the monkey technique was to fight the main man himself, but he wasn't much stronger than the other ones. With our quest done, we were given the ability to expand the world more. But before I got a chance to expand the world, I found a man crumpled on the ground, poisoned. I was told out of nowhere by the man that apparently moves like King of Dragon Punches and technique of moving stars and constellations all get rid of poison. I was confused, but I took the information and moved on. So, leaving the crumpled man on the ground, I go to find some kind of turtle move or something to heal him. And not medicine from the clinic right above us. That would be too easy. After a bit of exploring and finding a chest, I found a move called Tortoise Fist. That's a turtle, right? And after going back and swiftly moving my palm to cure him, he tells me he was poisoned by the 8-faced blackbird. It was an assassination attempt, and they failed. Some people would call me a hero, but I would just say I like rewards. With that done, it was time to expand the world. 2 bandits would be added, and our simple goal was to destroy everything they owned. And I started that process by burning their huts, and while destroying a cage, the fire spread and set me on fire, so I guess it was going as planned. After dunking myself into the water and coming back, the bandits were there, so I decided to distract myself with something else while I waited for them to leave. The second I touched the new desert area I had just placed, someone came up to me to talk about sects. Let me explain. A sect are the different split up styles of Kung Fu in the Great Wilds. Each sect by name are Beast, Icy, Concealed Weapon, Misfortune, Flame, Poison, Toxin, and the sect that I would be choosing, the Drunken sect. And with that, a huge segment of the map was unlocked, specifically for the Drunken sect. But before I would do anything else, I realized there was hidden treasure that the bandits had. It was sitting over their huts up high, so I just climbed up and grabbed it. Sadly, the way down wasn't so smooth, and I just happened to break my leg. Lucky for me, some random lady wandered into a bandit-ridden cave and saw my wounds, and not only carried me to the clinic, but also paid for the recovery, which was 500 coins. So I headed back to the desert. It was time to climb. The only problem was the eagles that wanted to kill me on the way up. Again, not with their razor-sharp beaks, but with Kung Fu. Upon reaching the top, I sat on a enlightenment stone and was given the opportunity to get some upgrades for my Kung Fu, and the ability to jump higher and farther. The next quest was a maze filled with gas. We had to defeat a few wolves and find a chest. Not hard, but the poison filling my lungs surely did affect me. I took off to the Drunken sect so I could finally start my training. Of course, still poisoned. The sign up was easy. All I had to do was write down my name and I was in. And after being greeted and taken back to the training area to begin my drunken kung fu journey, the world went black. I simply, without any warning, had gone completely blind. I was not sure if it was because of the sect or not, so I went back to the bandit camp to destroy everything they had left. And destroy I did, with no problems at all, until the bandit came back to, well, nothing, and decided they would fight me. However, this was a losing battle. As a newly blind man, I couldn't see the beating I was about to get. Thankfully, they took pity on me and didn't flat out end my life. I got back to the drunken sect, but not before placing down 2 very hot areas I would completely explore later. An auction was taking place, and gladly most auctions scream out bid number and item, because again, I'm blind. And being blind was the exact reason my next action was to pass on my kung fu and lineage. But as an orphan, I guess Shin's bloodline ended here. We would be reborn as Gung Shu, the son of a female disciple of the Wine Drinker Palace of the Drunken Sect. We were blessed with far, far, far more vigor, and I was gonna take advantage of it. So I collected the belongings of the fallen Shin, and I move on to practice my fist proficiency, so I can join the Drunken Sect again. I find that it's going slow, and I need someone a bit stronger. So who better to go to than one of the higher up members of the Drunken Sect? It was an amazing idea in concept. They had much less vigor than me, so I walked up and requested to spar. Now, if you don't know what sparring is, it's exchanging light blows as an attempt to train and grow in a discipline. So you can imagine my shock when not even 2 moves into the fight, I saw my HP go from full to 0 and with a red skull. His light attacks were nothing to mess around with, and I learned that the hard way as I was killed in a practice fight. Moving your colleague's son to a new plane of existence over a practice fight is insane, but I guess that's just what happens in the Great Wilds. I made a mistake. I picked Orphan again, meaning all of the bonus vigor is now gone. The start of this life was nothing crazy, I just happened to break my own leg. I fought the clinic manager for some reason and paid the same man to heal my broken leg. Then I found myself fighting snakes to train my fist attacks to again join the Drunken Sect, and well, of course, I'm again poisoned. Putting 2 and 2 together to realize the poison caused my blindness wasn't a thing for me, so I just continued doing what I was doing. And upon finding a hidden chest, I traveled to it and had to fight 2 more snakes. And because I was poisoned for so long, I was again blind. I really couldn't see that coming. Like, actually, I didn't know the poison was the cause of the blindness yet. But thankfully, after an auction where I got 2 treasure maps, I remembered I could just go to the clinic and I could cure my blindness. Problem was, I was flat broke, so I needed to trade for some money. And this was easy if I was not on a timer. Because the reason I'm blind is the same reason I'm rushing. I'm poisoned. And to top it all off, I have about 3 minutes to get the money I need with 18 health remaining. Let me tell you, I looked like a competitive crackhead selling wooden chunks, wild grass, pine cones, literal poo, and the poison that made me blind in the first place. Basically, what I'm saying is, and with 11 HP left, we were cured of our poison, but still blind. And in looking for more things to sell, I found a few thousand coins in a box that was unguarded. And with our eyesight back, we can continue. First by aligning our chi again for more buffs like more vigor, damage, and carry weight. Soon after, we were approached by a creepy man, a roamer, and flirtatious. Seems like a bad combo to me. He takes off his fedora and says it was love at first sight, and I politely decline. And with his unrivaled social skills, he threatened me and says he will make sure I will learn my lesson. But little did he know, I wanted blood. So after winning and being prompted the option to show him mercy or execute him, I decided I would be the last person he would ever flirt with. His family member, or someone close to him, ran up to me and challenged me to a fight, and I said I didn't want to do it, and they said for 3,000 coins, they would look the other way. I accepted the deal, and well, he did not take the money or press me for it, so I traded him his family members or friends' clothing, and I took his remaining gold with the trade, and ran away. They say you're never supposed to go back to the scene of the crime, but in this case, the place I burned down some homes had a treasure chest. I was getting far stronger, and a testament to my strength was in one attack I was given the option to kill the bandit. And, well, of course I did. Because if they're not moving, then they can't be a problem. The hidden box was once again sitting over their camp. After receiving a scroll equivalent to a handful of sand, I spent the next 30 minutes fixing my chi. Now it was time to go learn. What a peaceful break. Now it's time to go ruin more bandits' lives. I was soon after approached by someone that loved my skills. I gave them an outlandish price of 10,000 coins, and they said it was too high for my mediocre skills. And after one of the bandits tried to swipe something from me, I attacked him, and the wandering traveler asking for my help decided to jump in and get a taste of my mediocre skill. Decided I would make a home, so I placed a blueprint and joined an auction where I won a few things, but the most important out of the bunch was a legendary sword. While collecting materials, a lady approached me and confessed her love, and I shot it down, but invited her to my team. We would not be partners in love, but partners in battle. Someone ran up to us wanting to fight, so we showed them what a 1v2 was like. After that, there was a lot of aimless wandering. I fought a dog for the purpose of taming it, but didn't have the materials to tame it. And I cured the sick. Eventually, we would need to complete quests to become stronger, and my next quest was to steal 2,000 coins from a town I made in an active volcano. Every house had an owner, and no one was giving me time to steal, so I had a better plan. I would knock out the store owner and then rob them. Easy. Turns out, it was not so easy. At the end of a very hard fought but winning battle, we both end up on the floor unconscious. Him because I beat him to near death, and me because, well, my attacks make me drunk, and I didn't have the drunken immunity perk on. And this just happened to be the perfect opportunity for bandits from across the world to come and kidnap me. They took me back to their trashy camp, caged me, and took all of my things, but they didn't put anything on yet. This was a perfect opportunity to strike, so I quickly broke out and showed them what a master of Kung Fu could do as a final gift to them because they weren't gonna wake up. After ridding the world of 2 troglodytes, I gambled at a stone in the middle of the water. A random clinic manager from somewhere in the world found me and told me that he was hired to take my head. And that brings a great question: should they be a clinic manager? That's the equivalent of a surgeon taking out someone's heart and selling it on the black market. Seems a bit counterintuitive. Nevertheless, I beat him and crippled his kung fu, so he would have to think about what he did. I proceeded to go back to the place I was kidnapped, and I started stealing his money, 100 coins at a time, and he seemed to not care, so I just did that until I hit 2,000 while he stared at me. With this quest complete, it allowed me to put down the kung fu competition, with the goal of becoming the champion. There was 6 days to wait until the tournament. I recruited the leader of my sect and one of the disciples to my team to stay healthy during the 6-day waiting time. And with my 2 partners, I thought I could take over the world. So, just like an overconfident gym bro trying to lift too much, I might have overstepped as I tried to fight these black serpents in the cold. Now, I'll never know how the fight would have gone, but I'm about 99% sure we would have won. The problem was we froze about 2 steps into the area. Mother Nature was stronger than all of us. Maybe this was a bad sign, but competitions are a mixed bag. They always are. So I had nothing to worry about, with just a bit of luck. And in that 6-day wait, nothing crazy happened. I walked around a new city and learned that crafting good clothes is very hard, at least at the start. I joined a new sect and learned all their moves, and then immediately left. The main one being Golden Shield, reducing my damage taken by half, and I get 2 stacks of it per use. And the rest of the time I spent walking around sparring with my partners, knowing that now I'm strong enough that they won't just outright kill me if I lose. And with 6 days past, it was finally time for the competition. And looking at the list of competitors, not one, not two, but all 11 competitors were at a transcendent skill level, meaning they did not ascend by finding their true path or God. They found God, killed him, and then took his place. But I had come too far, so I entered anyway. And to this point, I didn't believe in plot armor. In every way I could think about it, there was no reason I should have won this competition. Everyone has more vigor, more power, more energy, more chi, more gear, and yet, maybe this was my moment to transcend. Is of course what I would have said if I didn't get destroyed in one turn. Thank God this was a competition, or I would have probably just been killed. Some people got into an argument, which I took advantage of by stealing a dagger worth 10,000 coins off of his belt and running. Now, although I lost this tournament, I know I could win the next one by forcing my dreams on my kid and passing on my kung fu. Born blind, I would go get cured right away and collect all the belongings of the past. Seeing innocent people get hurt was something I didn't want to see. I wanted to turn a new leaf and become a good person. So after this innocent man was hurt, I would get revenge for him, and I challenged his attacker to a duel. What I didn't realize was with my concealed weapons style, most of my attacks would just kill an opponent if I wanted them dead or not. And trying to be a good guy, I became a murderer. And with blood on my hands and a body right next to me, a far stronger man showed up and punched me into the afterlife. So as fast as that bloodline was continued and the dream of being a champion at Kung Fu began, it all ended. Maybe a world where Kung Fu is learned and mastered by snakes, dogs, and homeless people that can kill you in just 2 taps of a pressure point is not that amazing. And maybe the goal of being the best is farther out of reach than anyone could ever imagine. Kung Fu might just not be for me. At least that's what a weaker, lesser version of myself would say. So I swallowed my pride, made a new character, and dedicated the next 15 hours to learn how to beat this game. I made a promise I would become a champion, and the first step is to never quit. So I didn't. The next step is to train hard and realize there's always more to learn. Throughout the 17 hours of content I'm cutting out, there's one significant event that shaped the rest of my journey to becoming a champion. I'll call it the fight of confused minds. This all happened at a village after I took out a bandit and I took his armor, money, and weapons. The villagers weren't happy about me taking out the bandit and decided to all attack me. So, me and the 2 people that I had alliance with took out the entire village on our own. This is where I learned my most important trick in my arsenal. The important trick and last step is to take little pellets in the middle of your fights, and hitting really hard helps too. Let's go win a tournament. And if you're wondering, yes, I became blind a few times in the tournament because of, well, poison users, but sometimes you have to make some sacrifices to be the best. With the challenge completed, please like and subscribe, as this was my longest video and took the longest to make as well, and share it to people you think might like it. Friends, family, the homeless guy. Remember to stay hydrated, and I'll see you in the next one.